Good morning, BKIDS. It is so awesome to have you with us in our Sunday morning service today. I thought we could start with some worship time. So if you want to get your flags out and your dancing shoes, we're going to praise Jesus today. I thought we could do a song that is new to us, but has quickly become one of our favourites, and it's called Not Afraid. You say I'm an overcomer, I will overcome the monsters. I may be small, but I'm a fighter, 'cause you are strong and fear is a liar. I'm not afraid of the dark's afraid of me. I'm not afraid, 'cause you're shining bright in me. Be bold, be strong, be brave. Hold on, I'm not afraid anymore. Your love glows in the dark. Today I put on heaven's armor. Your sword and shield cannot be conquered. Raise a shout, 'cause I'm a warrior. Your battle cry will lead me onward. I'm not afraid of the dark's afraid of me. I'm not afraid, 'cause your heart is shining bright in me. Be bold, be strong, be brave. Hold on, I'm not afraid anymore. Your love glows in the dark. I'm not afraid of the dark's afraid of me. I'm not afraid, 'cause your heart is shining bright in me. I'm not afraid of the dark's afraid of me. I'm not afraid, 'cause your heart is shining bright in me. Be bold, be strong, be brave. Hold on, I'm not afraid anymore. Your love glows in the dark. Well, right now it's time for our teaching and our Bible story. So if you can get yourself comfy, get yourself a pillow. I've got a cup of tea, but I recommend that you get a non-caffeinated beverage. And let's begin. Today we are going to start a new series here on BKIDS called Faith Over Fear. And what I want us to learn over the next few weeks is why and how we should choose faith when we're feeling frightened. All of us have times when we feel frightened. I don't think there's anyone in the world that can say that they've never felt fear. And so this series, really, we're saying not that we shouldn't ever be afraid, but that when we do feel fear, that we know what to choose and that we choose faith. So today we're going to learn about an awesome hero in the Bible, Noah. So if you get comfy and you get ready to listen to the story, let's begin. A long time ago, there lived a man named Noah. Noah was a good man who listened to God, but he lived in a time when he was the only person who listened to God, and that made God very sad. God told Noah to build an ark because a flood was coming that would cover the whole earth. Noah immediately did what he was commanded by God, and he built the ark. God told him that it would house all the animals, 2 of every kind, and his whole family were coming too. So Noah got to work and built the ark, and all the animals came, and they entered it, and so did Noah and his family, because they listened to God. The rains came, and the floods rose and covered the whole earth. But God had rescued Noah by telling him to build the ark. Noah and his family waited in the ark for a long time. They waited 40 days until it stopped raining, and then they waited months and months for the waters to recede. When the waters had begun to recede, Noah sent out a dove. The first time he sent it out, it came back with nothing. The second time it sent it out, it came back with an olive branch in its mouth, which was a sign of hope to Noah. So he sent it out a third and final time, and the dove didn't come back. So Noah knew that there was a safe place for the bird to land. Then, finally, God said to Noah to get out of the ark because the land was finally dry. So Noah opened the doors and the animals came out, and all of his family stepped onto dry and safe ground. God had been faithful, and he had rescued Noah from the flood, and he had brought him and his family to a safe, dry ground. God put a rainbow in the sky, and he promised Noah and his family and all the people that he would never do anything like that again. Now, the rainbow has become for us a symbol of God's faithfulness to us, that he is with us wherever we go, and that his promise and his words do come true. So, that is the story of Noah. I wonder whether you have ever been in a situation where you felt like you were the odd one out, like you'd been asked to do something that no one else had been asked to do, and you just didn't know whether you should do it or not. Well, if we use Noah as an example, we should always choose faith over fear, even when it seems like we're the only person in that situation. Maybe we're the only Christian in our class, and maybe what God is telling us to do is to tell people that Jesus loves them very much. Sometimes that can be quite scary, but we should always choose faith and the most loving thing. Cool. So I'm going to hand you over to Mike to do a fun craft, and I will see you shortly.
Right, morning guys, here we go. I'm going to show you how to make an origami boat. Now for this we need a rectangular piece of paper, and to make it fun I've taken a picture out of a travel magazine just so I can think about where I'm going to go or where I want to go when we can actually go somewhere. First thing we need to do is fold along the long length from the top to the bottom, fold it in half, making sure everything lines up neatly, and we run our fingers along the top line there like that. So we've got that. We're now going to fold this in half that way. So we fold it over. Okay, now we've folded it over into a small square. We're going to open this up. What we now want to do is fold this corner down to our crease, so this line runs down the crease we've already made in the middle. Let me bring that along, and then press really hard down there. Exactly the same with the other side, so we end up with a sort of arrow type shape. Okay, now next step is this flap here. We're going to take one piece of it and we're going to fold it up, run our fingers along the full length of it, and then we're going to turn the whole thing over. We then fold that little piece in there. And remember, on all the folds where you fold it, press it in nice and tight so it stays in. Right, those folded over, we then fold up the bottom piece, the second flap, run our fingers along the bottom, again we turn it over and fold that in there and that in there. So we've now got a nice neat triangle. What we're going to do is we're going to pick it up, and we're going to open it, and we're going to push these two corners where my fingers are. We're going to push those together like that, then lay it down, run our fingers along that joint and along that joint, so we now have a diamond shape. This bottom flat corner here, we're going to fold that all the way up to the top. Here we go, all the way up to the top, folding along there. Guess what? We're going to turn it over again, and we're going to fold it up. Here we go. Right, okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to lift it up. He says we're going to open it and squash it again. So he said, now this time we're going to take very loosely these two pieces and we're going to pull them apart, and as we pull them apart we get the middle inside the boat, and then we put it open a bit at the bottom, and there we have a boat. There you go. Hope that worked out alright. I'm sure some of you will say my videoing is absolutely atrocious, especially as I work in IT, but hey, I make these things work. I don't necessarily ever use them. God bless you all, and I'll see you next week for something else, whatever it is Sophie wants to make next week. Thank you and goodbye.
Welcome back. I hope you had a great craft time with Mike. Now it's time for our Put It Into Practice section. This is where I want you to put what we've learned about faith over fear and choosing faith and being obedient and listening to God into practice. God is faithful and he is with us always. This week, like Noah, let's practice being obedient to God. Jesus tells us that the most important commandment is to love God and to love our neighbours. So this week I want you to talk to your parents about a way that you can show your neighbours how much you love them. Just remember, kids, be brave and be like Jesus. It's been lovely speaking to you. See you next week.